I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived.
Discover that I had not lived? What does that even mean? I mean, is there something that I'm missing here? Seriously, I mean, we have so many things that Thoreau couldn't even dream of. We have computers, we have phones. You know, if I want to see a tree, I can Google it, okay? What's the big deal about the forest? This doesn't even make sense anymore. You know, I'm just gonna go ask Despres about this. I really don't get it. Despres, do you have a minute?
Sure.
I really don't understand what's going on with Thoreau. I mean, he's saying all these things that's really confusing me.
Maybe if you think about it as writing a letter to Thoreau instead, something more personal, something from the heart, you know, just whatever's in your thoughts, think of it as a direct communication to him.
Alright, I mean, I guess what Despres said makes sense. I mean, maybe we should try writing a letter, but I mean, I don't even know what I write to Thoreau. I mean, I barely know him, so I mean, I wonder.
Dear Thoreau, you know, thinking about it, I guess I can kind of see where you're coming from when you went out to Walden Pond to separate yourself from society in order to, quote-unquote, find yourself, but honestly, I don't really know if that can be applied to the world today, at least in my opinion. It just seems that with all the advanced technology that we have today, you know, phones, computers, TVs, or whatever else, we wouldn't be able to isolate ourselves even if we wanted to. I guess this is both a good thing and a bad thing in some ways. You know, it's weird because in one sense, it's good, because I don't think being completely separated from the world, like you were, is either possible or plausible, forcing me to confront my issues and overcome them, making me a stronger person. My life today, in Revere, is a far cry from the leisurely life you were able to live in Concord, when societal pressures could be avoided or was non-existent. On that same note, this kamikaze-like approach to tackling my life, such as grades, a job, and getting into college, could also be bad because of this fact. It's a double-edged sword. I mean, being constantly in touch with the world around me is exhausting. And sometimes being able to be separated is a good thing, kind of recharge my batteries. This is the point at which I think we differ, because you didn't have to deal with both sides of this one coin. For me, it wouldn't be possible to just walk out into the woods and just think, no matter how badly I would like to just get away from all the annoying people and things in my life. Although I feel like being in solitude and just reflecting on life would help to improve my mental health, I don't feel as though it's realistic. But then again, I might be mistaken. I mean, to be honest, some of the stuff you wrote was a little confusing and somewhat idealistic. We may be more alike than I first imagined. Because the societies that we live in are two complete parallel worlds, I feel that some of the stuff that you wrote about in Walden doesn't really have anything to do with my world. But the bare bones of your work, I think, can be applied to any time. Like any time in history of humans, we are adaptive, and we've been able to change as the times have changed, so even though we may be dealing with completely opposite and irrelevant events to one another, the core of a person's humanities has not changed over the years. Maybe I should be thinking of it through the perspective that we deal with the same fundamental problems of human life. It's just the way that we deal with those problems that separates us. I guess one thing that I learned from you is that taking some time to be by myself is something that I need to do more of, because it would allow me to not only reflect on society and both its good things and shortcomings, but also to do some self-reflection. Even though I have some issues understanding your work, ultimately it allowed me to think more deeply about my surroundings. Taking a walk in Walden, although it didn't necessarily capture my imagination like it did for you, it allowed me to appreciate where you're coming from. Thank you for this, because your work helped me teach something new about myself.